What if you opened an In-N-Out in ancient Egypt? Day 1. You arrive in Egypt carrying buns, a grill, a blender, and ton of ice. You see workers pushing hard. In the heat, they're only allowed to eat bread. You load up the blender with ice, pour milk, and cold chocolate ice cream. You blend it all together. The noise of the blender is heard across the desert. You've made the first milkshake. The thirsty workers stop working and gather around your stall. Day 2. Thirsty workers line up outside your stall. They call it Ice of the Gods. A worker just finished a 20-hour shift. He takes one sip and he freezes. All the other workers can't hold back. In hours, every worker's thirst is filled. Week 1. The city is addicted, but milkshakes are not enough. They want proper food. So you whip out your meat and press it into patties. You put them onto the grill. The sizzling and smell cuts through the desert. You prepare burgers and make sure every worker gets a bite. Week 3. Your very good friend Socrates is visiting Egypt. He comes up to your stand and asks you, if your meat is your power, what are you without it? You laugh and tell him that was a good one. You hand him a milkshake. He drinks it without question. He wakes up on a fucking boat getting sent back to Greece. Month 1. A senator comes to your stand with an offer from the pharaoh. He says he will build you a In-N-Out as long as you supply Egypt with your meat. You now own a In-N-Out. Workers do all your work. Your job is simple. Feed the workers so they work faster. Year 1. Everyone in Egypt has tasted your meat. The pyramids are almost built. Egypt is now your city. You command the food supply chain. You didn't just bring fast food, you brought heart failure.
What if you brought a modern mirror to ancient Greece? Day 1. You set up a glass mirror in the agora. Nobody has ever seen their face in detail. A soldier walks up first. He's been told his whole life he looks like Achilles. He does not look like Achilles. He walks away and doesn't speak for the rest of the day. Day 2. An athlete looks at himself and immediately starts oiling his body harder. A sculptor sees his own face, looks back at his statue, smashes it, and starts over. 3 women refuse to leave. You start charging 1 drachma per look. Day 3. A priest says the mirror traps souls, tries to confiscate it. He lifts the cloth, sees his own face, and drops it immediately. He doesn't confiscate anything. He comes back at midnight, your best customer. Day 4. Socrates walks up, looks at his reflection.
What am I looking at?
Your face.
Is it mine if I've never seen it before?
You charge him double just for wasting your time. Day 5. You bring it to Sparta. A general sees his reflection for the first time and says,
Who is this old man?
he's 35. Sparta ages you different. Month 1. Half of Athens is obsessed. The other half wants it banned. You brought them a problem they didn't have before.
What would happen to your body if you were a Therian for a day? The moment you drop to all fours, your anatomy turns against you. Your wrists are not ankles. Under your full weight, the small carpal bones compress under pressure they were never designed to endure. Your skeleton isn't built for forward traction. When you attempt to run or leap, the force doesn't travel cleanly through limbs. It detonates in your shoulders. Your collarbones strain beneath your skin. Your spine is a vertical tower, not a horizontal bridge. Force it flat, and gravity drags at your organs while your lower vertebrae grind under unnatural load. To see ahead, you hyperextend your neck, tightening your airways. Your chest struggles to expand. Your joints dry, weaken, destabilize. Coordination collapses. You are not a wolf. Bottom line, push long enough and your body doesn't transform. It fails.
What if you sold Monster Energy in ancient Greece? Day 1. You show up at the first Olympics. You see a sprinter getting ready. He's drinking honey water for energy. You walk up and hand him a black can with glowing neon green claws. He chugs it. He feels an insane rush of energy. He wins the sprint by a mile. And even after the race is over, he just keeps running. Day 3. The sprinter's story gets around. Your monster drink is famous. A massive line forms at your stall. The honey water vendor next door gets 0 customers. Day 7. Socrates walks up to your stall. He squints at the can and asks,
If the water in this can helps a man win, does the victory belong to the man or the water?
You seriously want to throw an empty can at his head. Day 10. A group of Spartan soldiers marches up. Your customers all run off in fear, and you're terrified. They start inspecting the cans carefully and buy out your entire stock. Once they leave, it hits you. You made a lifetime's worth of money in a single day.
Barbeiro versus advogado. Quem ganha mais dinheiro em 20 anos? Ambos começam aos 18 anos. O barbeiro aprende a cortar cabelo em um lugar simples. Começa cobrando pouco, mas já ganha dinheiro no mesmo dia. Cada cliente vira dinheiro imediato. Enquanto isso, o advogado entra na faculdade. Livros, provas, pressão, estágio, renda, R$0. Aos 23 anos, o barbeiro já vive do corte. Tem clientes fixos e dinheiro toda semana. O advogado se forma. Começa como iniciante, ganha pouco e disputa espaço com milhares iguais a ele. Aos 30 anos, o barbeiro ganha bem, mas só se trabalhar mais horas. As mãos são o limite, o cansaço começa. O advogado escolhe uma especialização, sacrifica tempo, estudo, vida social, começa a construir nome e autoridade. Aos 40 anos, o barbeiro visionário abre sua própria barbearia, contrata funcionários, cria marca e para de cortar cabelo. O advogado agora tem assinatura forte, clientes grandes, contatos, influência e honorários altos. Resultado final, nos primeiros 10 anos, o barbeiro vive melhor. Em 20 anos, o advogado médio ganha mais, mas o barbeiro empreendedor pode ganhar mais do que a maioria dos advogados. Conclusão, não é sobre profissão, é sobre trocar tempo por dinheiro ou construir algo que trabalhe por você.
You become rich selling fried chicken in ancient Greece. Day 1. You show up in Athens with chicken, hot oil, and a cast iron pan. The smell hits the entire agora before the oil even gets hot. A philosopher stops mid-sentence, forgets what he was saying, sits down and waits. He does not know why, he just knows he needs to be here. Day 2, first piece out. Golden, crispy, perfect. 2 obols apiece, a day's wage for a soldier. Nobody argues, you sell out in 40 minutes. Day 3, they call it Firebird. Socrates shows up, asks if enjoying something this much is morally acceptable. You hand him a piece. He eats the whole thing in silence. Day 4, you run out of oil. You find a coastal merchant with olive oil by the barrel, more expensive, worth it. Chicken gets better, price goes up. Line gets longer. Week 1, you move next to the Olympic training grounds. Athletes smell fire bird from across the field. Training stops. Every single one walks over. You sell 400 pieces before sunset. Month 1. Athens' richest merchant walks in arms crossed. You hand him a piece. He eats it, picks up the bone, stares at it, offers you a house, 12 workers, and a cut of every sale across the Greek world. You say yes without hesitating. 6 months later, richest person in Athens, all from a cast iron pan and a recipe nobody in the ancient world saw coming.
How much gooning can you really do in one sitting? At level 1, everything feels fine. You're energetic, dopamine eases your mind, confidence rises, and focus feels sharp. It seems harmless and even productive. By level 10, dizziness creeps in, nausea starts showing up, and your body sends early warning signals, but you ignore them because the stimulation still feels rewarding. By level 25, exhaustion hits hard. Your hands feel weak and your brain turns foggy, but a sudden dopamine spike tricks you into continuing like it's some kind of achievement. By level 40, your legs begin trembling, posture collapses, and you start questioning your life choices and why you're still doing this. By level 50, sleep deprivation and overstimulation blur reality, causing mild hallucinations and strange thoughts. By level 67, energy is completely drained. Muscles fail, consciousness fades, and you finally pass out. The conclusion is simple. You can't go beyond 67, so the limit is 6-7. Tag your gooner friend who claim he can break the 67 level.
¿Querías hacerte rico vendiendo donas en la antigua Grecia? Día 1. Llegas a Atenas con harina, azúcar y un caldero de hierro. El mercado apesta a pescado y esta gente solo come pan duro. Preparas la masa, la cortas en círculos perfectos, las lanzas al aceite hirviendo. El aroma llama la atención de la gente alrededor. Las bañas en glaseado espeso y delicioso. La multitud se detiene. Jamás han visto tal belleza. Día 2. Estableces tu puesto, Flaco Donas. Un hombre te pide una deliciosa dona. Al probarla, él piensa que esta es la comida de los dioses. Te piden cajas para llevar antes del atardecer. El azúcar invade sus venas. Día 3. La ciudad es adicta. Atenas ya no duerme. Los filósofos debaten con las túnicas manchadas de glaseado. Hasta los guerreros buscan su dosis de azúcar antes de entrenar. Semana 1. Estás haciendo tus donas tranquilo cuando llega Sócrates. Pregunta: ¿la dona controla al hombre o el hombre a la dona? Te enojas, pero decides darle una caja de donas en vez de tirarle el aceite hirviendo. Él se va muy feliz. Mes 3. Las filas son más grandes cada día, así que vas con el rey para darle una deliciosa dona. Le gusta tanto que te da permiso de poner una donería mucho más grande en la ciudad. Ahora eres dueño del negocio más grande de donas del país. Vigilas que todo salga bien y tú solo te encargas de relajarte.
Barbeiro versus Uber. Quem ganha mais dinheiro em 15 anos? O barbeiro faz um curso rápido e começa a cortar cabelo. Aos 19 anos, já entra R$100 por dia no caixa, mais gorjetas. O cliente gosta, volta, indica. Com o tempo, ele melhora a técnica, aumenta o preço do corte e atende 10 a 15 clientes por dia, fechando o mês com R$3.000 a R$4.000. Alguns anos depois, o barbeiro abre o próprio espaço. Corte, barba, produtos e agenda cheia fazem o faturamento chegar a R$8.000. mês, R$ 10.000 por mês. Enquanto isso, o Uber entra no jogo, aluga ou financia um carro, roda 10 a 12 horas por dia e no fim do dia sobra algo entre R$ 150 e R$ 200, depois de gasolina e taxas. O Uber depende do trânsito, do aplicativo e do carro. Se não roda, não ganha. O barbeiro constrói clientela, cria marca, ensina outros barbeiros e diversifica a renda. Depois de 15 anos, o barbeiro tem negócio rodando e renda previsível. O Uber ainda troca horas por dinheiro. No fim, não é sobre profissão, é sobre modelo de ganho. Às vezes, uma tesoura bem usada vale mais que um volante.
A special force fought for Sparta against Persians. Day 1, you wake up in the red dust of Sparta, wearing full tactical gear. A circle of Spartan surrounds you with sharp bronze spears. You don't argue. You simply shoot your rifle at a thick stone pillar. The stone shatters into dust. The warriors freeze and slowly step back to let you pass. Day 2, the Spartans lead you to King Leonidas. He asks if you are a god or a demon. You throw a stun grenade onto the ground. The explosion shakes the earth. Leonidas asks if you are Hades himself. You tell him you are not his enemy. Day 3, Leonidas asks you to join his 300 men to fight the Persians at the Hot Gates. You know, this is your chance to change the history books. Day 7, you reach the Hot Gate. The Persians arrive in the thousands. The Spartans lock their shields and prepare to engage. But you don't want to wait. You shoot your machine gun into the narrow path. Your bullets stop the massive army. Day 8. King Xerxes loses his mind because of the defeat. He sends his archers to blot out the sun with arrows. You find a high spot on the cliffs and aim your RPG. The rocket hits the enemy line. The explosion is louder than the gods. King Xerxes watches his best men disappear in fire and smoke. The Persians retreat in total fear of your thunder. Day 10, the battle is over, and you are the savior of Sparta. Your rifle is empty and the metal is cold. You know the Persians will return. One day, you sit with the Spartans and start drawing plans in the sand. You will use your knowledge to build a new kind of power.
What happens if you use an alum stone on your armpits for 7 days straight? Most people think it's just a simple mineral with no real effect, but the moment it touches damp skin, something interesting begins. It doesn't stop sweat, it targets the bacteria that cause odor. By day 2, you notice the difference. You still sweat, but the smell is gone because it's being neutralized at the source, not covered with fragrance. By day 3, your skin feels cleaner and drier to the touch, even after sweating. Around day 4, perspiration may slightly decrease, not because pores are blocked, but because the skin tightens naturally, leaving less moisture for bacteria to grow. Days 5 and 6 bring another surprise. No burning, no irritation, no stains on clothes. The underarm area looks calmer and more balanced. By day 7, the result is clear. You still sweat, but without odor, artificial scents, or disrupting your body's natural process.